But as long as your primary emphasis is on analyzing and acknowledging what has materialized, your awareness of what has materialized keeps what's over here ready to materialize from materializing. Does that make sense? My bank account doesn't have enough money in it, but your vibrational currency is enormous. But as you look at your bank account and feel uncomfortable with what it is, that discomfort is your indicator that you're not letting your vibrational currency in. So you can't get the impulse. You can't feel about you the way that your inner being does when you are focusing upon what you think is instead of what we know is. It's such a thin veil or line, or whatever you want to call it, distinction between what is available to you and what you are letting become in your bank account, or whatever the subject of your creation is. It's just the difference between you adjusting your mood or attitude or expectation just a little bit. So you've been hearing for a long time, maybe your whole life, about the value of being positive rather than negative, the value of having positive expectation, the value of looking in the direction of what you want, that it feels so much better to feel good than it does to not feel good. And yet you train yourself all day, every day as sort of realists. You train yourself as realists. You say, I should face reality. And if you ever aren't facing reality, if you should ever hear us and look to your vibrational reality, we call it your vortex, so important that you accept its reality, that we've named it, wrote 2 books about it. We want you to accept this as real. But as you maybe try to do that, and others around you who don't understand that they are vibrational creators, or that you are either, who don't understand about the vibrational realm, who don't get it, that all things come from thought, and thought is about vibration, and with enough momentum and alignment of thought, then those thoughts turn to things, that's how creation happens. So those that don't yet know that watch you in your dreaming, or in your imagining, or in your being positive for no good reason. And they say, you need to get real. You need to be realists. You need to face reality. Well, don't psychoanalyze that, and don't explain it, and don't try to justify it. When you say, I'm not as good at step 5 as I want to be, but the reason I was in step 1 was this reason and this reason and this reason, we say, blah, 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 blah. That's not helpful. So say it in a way that's helpful. I like to determine, I like to be aware of whether I'm in a step 5 or a step 1 moment, and both are okay. I just prefer step 5. But hear this, hear the difference. When you're in a step 5 moment, that means you're already tuned in, tapped in, turned on, because you practiced the receiving mode in step 3 and step 4. Now you've got the momentum going. So you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. And now what you're receiving is the perspective that your inner being is having about the very contrast that you are now witnessing. And your inner being, first of all, adores the contrast. Next of all, realizes the value of it. There's no resistance then. It feels good. This is how contrast feels good. Can you imagine you're a painter and you've got your palette of paint and they're all lined up on the palette, and here's your canvas over here, and there's all this variety, and you say, oh, no, 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 no. I do not want all this contrast. I choose one color. Well, what a limiting painting that's going to be. That's not going to be a satisfying painting at all. Contrast is variety. Resistance is something else altogether. When you open to this kind of energy, Esther and Jerry used to tease that they should put this on the disclaimer that you sign when you come in that says all the things that make this flow more easily. Oh, and by the way, you can't go back. You're going to tune in to who you really are, which means you're going to have to pay a little attention to staying up to speed with who you are, because you're not going to ever be able to stand not staying up to speed with who you are. Yeah. And so just be up to speed with who you are, and stop beating up on yourself and others, and stop needing the world to be different so that you can feel better, and stop needing your world to be different so that you can feel better. Just decide right now, under these conditions, I can feel good or not. That's all. Instead of saying, well, if these conditions were different, then I would feel better. That's how you introduce resistance to the equation. You can feel good. You can feel good. You can feel good. It's just a matter of directing your thought, and you're getting better and better at it. Do you know what that right there depends on? It depends on how tuned in you were when they came.
Exactly.
You got to get out ahead of it, because if you didn't get out ahead of it, when they walk in, you're going to go right where you always go. But if you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, then they look different. They're just cute. Someone's learning to walk and they're not very good at it yet, and they just fall down. You don't say, "Get up, you little dummy." You just let them find their balance. They're just cute. They're just cute. They're finding their balance, and they're watching you walk. That's why they even want to walk, is because they're watching you. They watch you be happy. They watch you chill out. They watch good things come to you. They watch you be easy about things. They watch you laugh heartily. They watch you change. They watch you evolve. You don't let them hold you to the old standards that you used to be at. This is the thing that Esther's understanding. She's talking to Jerry about it all the time. "Okay, Jerry, I'm going to think about this the way you're now thinking about it, and I'm not going to keep that rule that we promised we'd always keep, okay?" You have to let yourself evolve. And where you're evolving to is joyful moment. And just because somebody's eating out of the dumpster doesn't mean that you shouldn't be happy about your new red car. If a desire doesn't feel good to you, then that's because you are focused sometimes on what you want and sometimes on the slowness of it or the absence of it. And so you're introducing resistance into your vibrational mix. And when you introduce resistance into your vibrational mix, I want it, but I don't have it, or I want it, but it is difficult, or I want it, but I've wanted it such a long time and it has not been coming, or I want it, but I'm not certain if I should want it, or I think I want it, but I'm not sure if I want that instead. In other words, there are things that you think that are in contradiction to your desires, and when you carve out those thought pathways, a thought pathway this way, a thought pathway that way, then you introduce unnecessary resistance and hindrance into your equation. Mostly what you do, better said, the way to describe what you are doing in better words, is that your desire is a vibrational frequency, and your beliefs about that desire are also vibrational frequencies. And if the vibrational frequency of your belief and your desire are in the same place, then there's no hindrance. The circuits are wide open. It's smooth going. Circumstances and events, cooperative components, are easily brought to you and you to them. But if you are thinking in contradiction to your own desire, which humans do a lot, because you are mostly looking at what is, as if the manifestation holds more importance than the creation that is underway.